Hi, today we're going to talk with Jeff Thompson of We Move It, and we're going to talk about the topics of preparing your home for a move, especially as it correlates to listing your home, staging your home, all the different processes that we need to think about and go through. And then once your home is sold or in escrow, how we're going to deal with helping you figure out that perfect move, whether you're moving down the street or across the country.
Absolutely.
So I'm Wayne Martin with Real Estate One. We've been in the area for over 20 some odd years, and we're looking forward to finding all these tricks and tips. So Jeff, say I go on a listing presentation and people have been in a house for a long time, and they've had kids, they've had a great life, and they have all this stuff, and now I need to work with them and potentially work with you or someone like you, a mover, to get them ready with all this stuff so that when we have our professional photographer come in after our professional stager would be the first person to figure out what we're going to work with and where it's going to go in the house, and then bring in our photographer, because photography is everything for marketing your home. What is the first step someone should think about for the person that's going to be moving? Because we're going to sell their house, they're going to move. What's the first step?
Really is finding a mover because you're going to eventually want to box those things up, whether you're doing it yourself or maybe you're going to want to hire the moving company to do that also, which we do. Mm-hmm. You're going to know what you want to do. The stuff, maybe you want to thin out the herd a little bit so you can show your house and make it look presentation, a good.
Yeah. That's the bottom line for us at this point. When we're working with a listing, we got to get as much stuff out of the house that, hurts the photography, because our goal is to have a home well staged and wide open. So there's a lot of different aspects that we go through. Say, that's great. You live that way. You have really nice stuff, but I literally had some clients where we moved a third of their house out.
Well, you need to make it where the people that are coming in can actually see themselves in that house.
Right.
And when
Absolutely.
it's cluttered, they really can't.
They can't. Well, and then the other thing with photography, professional photography, our goal as a marketer is just to get them in the house. So if the photography doesn't work because it's too cluttered, it makes it very hard to get someone to want to see the house. And so it gets eliminated. And so that's really important. So from a packing standpoint, what would you tell them? Boxes, bags, how does that work?
We actually do free estimates. So
Okay.
Probably 90% of the local moves, we don't have to go out there and take a look. But we get, especially the elderly, they get overwhelmed. They're in a house for 10, 20, 30 years, right, and they're really overwhelmed. So we go in there and we show them that this is what needs to be done. This is probably what you're looking at. You're probably going to need this many boxes to start, but you're also going to need packing paper. You're going to need all the stuff that's going to protect. Yeah.
Boxes.
Yeah, the
everything.
stuff that's going to be able to take the stuff from one place to another without damage.
Right.
So we'll go over there if need be, and we'll hold their hand. We'll show them what needs to be done and give them those options of our services and see what they want to utilize.
So recently we just sold a house out on West Reading, and we had an elderly person that couldn't move herself, and so we had to bring in an estate sailor, and so we went through that, and that was pretty interesting. The other thing, too, is she has an adult daughter that was working with us, and we had to coordinate everything, and they wanted nothing left, and they had family come through, choose all the stuff that they wanted to take from the house. And then after that, it was an estate sale, and, they had a piano. Now, do you move pianos?
We do.
Another thing would be safes. Gun safes are really big in this area.
That's actually what we specialize in, heavy, hard-to-move items. Gun safes, pianos, hot tubs. We have the equipment for moving. And in fact, the heavier the equipment is, the easier it is to move. Sounds funny, but our equipment takes over.
Okay, so it's not all breaking your back trying to
Absolutely
get it out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think I've seen your trailer. It just dropped to the ground.
Fully hydraulic.
Fully hydraulic.
It's a back saver.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, some of these big houses out in the rural areas where a lot of people have machinery or they might have a shop that needs to be moved, all this equipment needs to be moved. You're a great person to have them do that.
We have those options available. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, going back to choosing a mover, what do we need to look for? Because I've read about a number of scams, really bad stuff, actually.
Oh, absolutely. A really good referral is realtors. You guys deal with this day in and day out. Right. So pretty much the complaints that you hear from some of your customers that have moved certain companies. So, but I'd still use Yelp. Google Maps is a great thing to do. Just go in there, research your mover because there's some really good movers out there, but there's some bad ones too. And
right. We had heard about some friends of ours that were moving cross country, so they contacted some brokerage company, and not a local one that's reputable, and so they packed up their stuff. They got it, back in Salt Lake City, somewhere back in the Midwest, and they got held hostage because they didn't use a reputable mover.
It happens.
It happens.
And it gives us a bad name.
Yeah, gives movers the bad name.
Yes.
So you just need to be very careful, do your due diligence, be with a reputable company. If your price is too low, it's probably not going to work, right?
It can, especially things to be aware of if people ask for deposits. Deposits are a bad deal. I have one company here that always asks for deposits, and then once they have that deposit, then once the move starts, they'll get you and they'll ask for more money.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you always get your referrals.
Yeah,
multiple referrals.
Multiple referrals.
Yeah.
Great. So now that we've got the house in escrow, and that's when the real heavy lifting starts. So what are some great tips for people as far as packing things?
Well, one thing is keep a main box with you. That's the one thing we come across all the time. People are losing their medications, or maybe they can't find their checkbook at the end of the day. Maybe their car keys are missing, some of their important papers. Get a box, put all that stuff, the main stuff that you're going to need. Even paper plates, forks, spoons, some kind of utensils, because those are also one of the first things you're going to be looking for at the end of the day. You're going to be hungry.
You're going to be hungry.
So have that box with you so it's always by your side. And then also you can not only label your boxes, but if for all the OCD people out there, you can actually color code too, and it saves you money because if we can't read the writing on the box, we don't have to keep coming back to you and say, where does this go?
Right.
There's a code on the boxes, maybe a color, and then you put a color code on whatever room you want it to go into.
Wow.
And we don't have to ask you,
it just goes there.
It just goes there. That's probably one of the faster things we can tell you. And
so where would you get boxes, or do you supply boxes, or how does that work?
We do supply boxes, but of course we have to go get them, so they're more expensive.
Sure.
So
you don't work for free?
We don't work for free. So the best place to go, Lowe's, Home Depot. They have really good supply of boxes. Boxes are good quality.
Okay.
I would go there.
Okay.
Everything's there. Tape, packing paper, everything you need.
Bubble wrap, everything you need.
Right. And
Labels.
then once you do that, if you decide to use our company, at the end of when we're just about to come there, just let us know what you need to bring, whether maybe you need more boxes, maybe you need a little more tape, maybe you need this, and you can just let us know and we'll bring that with us when we come pack you up.
Okay. So now you're going to be moving big furniture, like, old school TV systems and all that. How does that work? Do you break them down?
Well, there's certain things that you want to break down. Of course, like beds and different types of furniture. Maybe there's a hutch, a 2-piece hutch. We don't break everything down. Stuff doesn't have to be done. But what we do is we wrap everything with a blanket. So every piece of furniture gets a blanket. Everything gets a strap. You want your product that you're moving to ride tight, so it's not moving back and forth. That's where you get your scrapes and your bangs, and that's mainly.
Yeah, there's a lot of IKEA furniture out there that's particle board and screws. How does that work?
Being careful. It's just the more fragile it is, particle board, all that stuff, you have to make extra steps to make sure that stuff doesn't break.
Right.
So that's what we do when we come there. We assess what it's going to take to safely move it, and that's what we do. Okay.
So we're in escrow. You're boxing everything up, and they go, "Oh, I've got all these extra items." Normally, what we do if we bring an estate sailor in and they have really good things, the estate sailor will do a public estate sale. Then they do another one for the professionals that are looking to buy it cheaper, and then whatever's left over, a lot of time there's a bunch of junk. How do you handle that? Does your company help with that? Because now
we do that, and we help different businesses do that too. We have a dump trailer, so we can come over there and haul it away.
Okay.
It just really depends on giving us enough notice so we can open that day available to them.
Okay.
So
okay.
More notice, the better.
So another thing that comes up that I've seen a lot of times is, people have pesticides, all these, liquid chemicals. How is that handled?
Exactly. The city of Reading, they're fickle, and there's different things that you can take to the dumps, different stuff that you can't. We don't deal with pesticides, paints, any kind of fuels or petroleum products.
Okay, so that just would stay in the home, and
right.
Someone would have to deal with that.
Right.
Outside of the
because
movers.
Once you close up your container, you have fumes and stuff, and
right. You can't have that in there.
Yeah, or spills.
Or spills.
Yeah.
So I know when I was recently moving some things, there was almost like a 5-gallon limit of what you could actually transport as an individual in the city of Reading to the dump.
And certain days too.
And certain days. So a recommendation would be to think that through, get ahead of it, because you might be taking a lot of stuff to the dump.
And it may take a period of time to get rid of that stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Just because there are certain days that they'll take it, some
exactly.
they don't.
Yeah, something to get to know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to think of anything you'd like to go over. Anything special?
Well, there's different things that we're able to do for someone. Not only can we move their stuff for them, but if they have a rental truck and they need something loaded at this end and they're going to take it themselves to the other end, we do labor only. So we tailor our services around our customers' needs, and it's not always the same thing. So maybe they just need something loaded up, something that they're going to be moving themselves, or maybe it's one big hot tub or a gun safe. We had one guy who wanted us to move a safe for him, and he decided to use a U-Haul. He was pulling it up the ramp, it fell on his legs and onto the concrete, and he lost a leg. So it's making sure you have the right equipment to move whatever you're going to be moving.
Right. So there's a lot of gun owners in Northern California.
Oh, absolutely.
So what do you do about guns and ammo?
We can't take guns. We can't take ammo.
Okay, so that's something they need to figure out on their own.
Yeah, we'll take the safe. We'll take everything else. We just can't.
You can't just, even if the guns are in the safe, you can't take them.
No, because when we're moving the safe, guns can't be in the safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. So how does licensing and insurance work in the moving? So say I have a antique, or I have something that's really nice with a nice finish, and something gets scraped, something happens. How's that handled?
Well, the industry standard is 60 cents per pound per item. So The insurance that we cover is very minimal to almost none. So if you go to an insurance company, you can get insurance for that day, that move. We don't offer it, but I can tell you in 17 years, we've never had a claim. So it's just finding that one person that's going to safeguard your stuff and be able to move you professionally.
Okay.
And that's with a lot of blankets, a lot of straps.
A lot of blankets and straps.
Yep.
So, a lot of people I've seen use pods. How does that whole pod system work? What's that look like?
Pods are a good thing. I mean, it's nice that they can take there to location. You can load it yourself, and then they'll take it over. We're doing that for a while, and just the city, the regulations, it just wasn't compatible with us. So it's finding those people that are able to do that. And I think like pods, they don't come to Redding. The closest they come to is Sacramento. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's trying to find the people that are able to come to your area,
which is hard. Because I've seen a number of people when they're going to move cross country, we need to empty their house out relative that
Right.
they can. And so sometimes they've used some type of storage where they've moved it into storage, and then when they're ready to move and escrow closes, then they move it from there. So
pods are a great thing. It's just they're scarce.
They're scarce.
Right.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. So if you're thinking about selling, there's a lot to think about, as far as, okay, I have all this stuff, what's valuable and what's not, because you can move a lot of things that you move cross state, cross country, or whatever, and it's really not valuable. Sometimes is it just better just to donate it or try to sell it and replace it?
It really depends who you're talking to. Some people are real sensitive about their belongings, and I get it. I mean, it's a lot of it's sentimental. But yeah, I had one guy. I went over. I moved to went to Sacramento or San Francisco and picked up his stuff. He had it stored there 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And then what they paid for us to go over there and pick it up and bring it back, it wasn't even worth the contents. But it was important to them.
Right.
So
yeah, it's
it
from
is what
individual to individual.
Right.
I know. I've had a number of clients, and my parents actually, they had a lot of stuff. And I said, well, why don't you get rid of it? And he says, well, there's a memory attached to it, and it's really hard.
It is.
I have a memory, from, camping, let's say, all this old camping gear. But if we got rid of it, my father just goes, I'll lose that memory.
Oh, yeah. Same thing with moving them to a care center or some kind of. They're real sentimental, and they want to bring as much as they can. And they have
to really pare it down.
They do, and it gets really hard for them. Yeah. So it's an emotional journey.
Yeah. Well, and a good mover will understand that too, and work with people, because it's not all just cut and dry.
Oh, we've made it where we took stuff back that would not fit. So I mean, you try to please your customers as much as you can.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming on, and thanks for all that great advice. And so if you need help, please reach out to Jeff. We'll have some information. He's moved us. He's moved our multiple times, our office. You also do commercial moving too, like desks and
we also do delivery service and whatever needs to happen.
Okay, so keep Jeff Thompson in mind, and we move it. So. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.